Well, welcome back, blade lovers, blade aficionados, and blade runners, all you people out there who love your knives. I think you'll enjoy this one. Um, it was kind of a last minute decision a few days ago. I got this rather quickly, directly from uh, Katosa, Katoa, USA. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That is the USA branch for Reich knives, and that's where they ship them directly to you from. I got this in no less than 3 or 4 days, so that was pretty good service. I later learned that they had run out, and looking at their Instagram page, they are promising that more will be in stock soon. So, what is it? You must know by now because you saw the thumbnail and the title. Here's what you get in the package. You get a nice Reich sticker, and you get a microfiber cloth, as we come to expect from all knives these days. And here in the box, in its dense foam with magnetic cover, is this guy, the Lamella. And the Lamella DG. I don't know of any other variants right now. Maybe they're going to change that. And you can see that it is in CPM 20CV. This is a gorgeous knife in my book. Now, it could be one of those knives because it's a Persian style that you either love or you hate. And please consider this my overview of the knife and some brief comparisons. You will see videos from Reich, from Jim Skelton, and from LTK where they have disassembled this knife because it's got a trick disassembly in it. I just got this yesterday. I can see where and how it disassembles, but I found I didn't have the tool I wanted to use that wouldn't scratch the hell out of the inside of the knife. So I'm electing not at this point to take the cover off, and I hope to do a future disassembly video. Hopefully that doesn't disappoint you guys. As I said, there are several other places, and I'll give you links, where you can see this being disassembled. At any rate, here we go, and here's the reveal. There is the Lamella. Look at that beautiful blade, beautiful handle, and it's a two-piece handle, so some will say it's not a true integral. I'm calling it an integral, even though this top cover, kind of a shell, separates from the frame. And I can show you, since we'll get that out of the way, where this guy disassembles. So there is that bar in the back which pushes back, and there is a sliding piece of steel and a spring assembly, if you can see that, which slides back and disconnects the cover. The knife must be half closed when you do this, which is a little on the dangerous side, and I felt it was a little tough to do in front of the camera. Again, I'm going to do it off camera, separate the cover for you, and then show that to you in a future video. Hope to do that within the next week or so. Okay, so what have we got here but one other beautifully done, beautifully machined Reich knife. And I'm going to show you some other examples of their workmanship. It's just really incredible. Of course, recently this year, most of us know that they built a knife, were the OEMs for a Microtech knife by the name of the Socom Bravo. And I'll bring the Bravo out in a moment. Let's take a look at that. But we have an all titanium handle that is in two colors and faceted kind of like a gemstone, and this is a gemstone of a knife for sure. We do have a lanyard slot in the very end, have a little bit of a bird's beak handle there, And we have a separate steel liner that is attached at this point, if you can see it, right there on the inside. You also see at least one standoff there, let's see, and a pin. And that is pretty much the assembly. Now the reason you would want to take the cover off is to adjust the pivots. However, this came through with an amazing fall shut action. Just pneumatic, as I keep saying these days. There's the spine of the handle. You can see there's no seam. That's all one piece, right down to where the color changes there. We have a ceramic ball inserted for the clip. And since it's riding on a smooth surface, it does go in and out of the pocket quite nicely. It'll angle a little deeper than it will go in straight, as you can see, because of the angle of the cut there for the clip. In two methods of opening, we have these thumb bars here, and I found you don't want to put your finger on the very end of it because it's got a pretty sharp shoulder. It won't cut you, but you'll feel it. We have a very muted flipper tab whose jimping is really not that aggressive, but it's more than enough to light switch it open. The tuning on this is pretty much like a fine lock bar knife, frame lock, even though it is not a frame lock. It's a very unusual construction. Here we have the name, Lamella, and the year it was made, 2022. Here's another interesting feature here. If you can see it, it appears as though we have here number 16, if that's in focus. Number 16. One thing that is a complaint about Reich knives across the board is they use this scrolly script kind of writing that I think would look nicer if it was plainer. It does not embellish the look or the billboarding of the knife. And I'm not the first one to say that. That would be my only complaint. You have a full finger choil here. Very comfortable. This grip comes right up into your palm like a palm swell. And it's got this beautiful S shape to it where the tip goes up, becomes a trailing point, and the handle goes down. Have some relatively defined jimping on the liner. And just look at that thing fall. It's beautiful. These are going for about $355 directly from Katoa, USA. I'll leave you the link. That is the only place right now you can get them, and I'm sure they'll be popping up elsewhere where Reich knives are sold. All right, we'll measure it up. It is not a small knife. 9 inches exactly overall, and just shy of 4 inches, we'll call it like a 395 blade to the handle with a cutting edge of about the same. Getting out the trusty old calipers that now have a new battery. The handle width in inches is 0.57. The blade thickness in inches is 0.15, or I'm guessing 3.8 millimeters. Yep, exactly. And we'll see if the scale cooperates today. Hello, scale. Are you there? 5.12 ounces. Given the size of the knife, that ain't bad. Given the fact that it's all titanium and not weight relieved, that's not bad. It is just smooth as silk. And I want to point out this beautifully contoured, capped spine with really nice, I would say, effective jimping, almost file-like. Beautiful radiused spine, and the finish is all a very fine bead blast, including inside this fuller, if you want to call it a fuller. And we have a satin, if I can pick that up, finish on the flats, and there isn't much to the flats because you've got to grind about 2/3 of the way up. It is very fine and sharp on the edge, I will say. Now, as far as alternate opening methods go, you can grab hold of the fuller very easily and snap that out. You can roll it out on the fuller. Calling it a fuller, it's sort of like a trench, similar to what you see on the Bravo. And again, I found, don't push directly against that, but get your thumb in there and roll it out. Speaking of that, this is the lockup mechanism in part. It is touching here, near as I can tell, as well as on the stop pin. Right there. Pretty sizable stop pin. Not ginormous, but large enough. And look how this wants to close. Really nice. One day I'm going to get it to close just like, one of those pneumatic lids on something. Another look around, and I'll give you another look at the end of this video. But how about a compare with another Reich made knife, Socom Bravo. This one is the Tonto version from Microtech, and this one is hand serrated by Tony Marfione. He signed the box. It added another $50 to the price of the knife, but what the heck, it was the only version of the Tonto I could get at that time, so I bit the bullet. And you can see the same beautiful workmanship, machining involved in this knife, even a little more intricate than on the Lamella. Same trench-like groove. And how is it for size? Well, it's ever so slightly, just fractions of an inch longer than the Lamella, so that'll give you an idea. We've got pretty much a 4-inch blade on each of these. Gorgeous carbon fiber on that one. And it's also a pneumatically drop-shut knife. Here's an interesting comparison. Here is another WE knife by Eric Oakes, designed by Eric Oakes, for WE, as I think I just said. And it's brought out here because we have another Persian. Little different treatment with the Tonto style double grind, as you can see, but very similar upswept blade, a taller, fatter sort of handle, and this particular one, titanium bolster and carbon fiber. That is called the Curvaceous. Here's a little less expensive Reich knife that is no longer made. This is the 802, and it is the 802G. I think that's what it says. Again, well, that's not the scrolly writing on this one. 802G. That is a half titanium, half G10, and I think they made this one in 154 cm. Again, though, beautiful workmanship on the Reich knives. Look at the detail. They're extremely precise. I hesitate to say like a Swiss watch, but not nearly as expensive. Got a groove fuller thing going down the side there. Interesting clip. That's the Reich 802. And that is also a large knife, just about 4 inches. Yep. Now Reich has built some small ones as well. And if you check my site, you can see some of those out there. One more comparison. Here's the Thule. And this is has some prominence by means of the fact that it is the first fully integral G10 knife. This is all one piece with these inlays here of G10, in this case olive G10 with the black G10 handle. Very light knife, and this one I think they did in this is in 154 cm as well. Not often seen and kind of an underappreciated knife. The Reich Thule has an interesting hollow clack when you open it, if you can hear that. And size-wise, it's going to come in just a little bit shorter, but it's still a big knife. Liner lock with a attached liner, etc. All right, well, one more for the heck of it. This is the M3. This was my first Reich knife. I think I picked this up on eBay. Mirror finished on this one, also 154 cm. And also a big knife coming in around 4 inches. Actually, it's a tad bit longer than the Lamella. Carmela Lamella. Kind of a greenish ano, blue-greenish ano to the titanium. And they like to use that ball, ceramic ball insert. I believe, nope, it isn't on the Microtech. Microtech's just a straight ramp. Another look around. And again, if you really need to see this cover taken off, I will link the Reich video for you from Instagram, and you can take a look at that if you haven't seen it already. He's probably most successful at getting that cover off because Richard Wu is the owner of Reich Knives. I believe that's his name, and I think it might have been him taking the cover off in that video. Just a gorgeous knife. If you want a real showpiece for about $350, which these days unfortunately is not that expensive for a quality knife, 20CV or M390, whichever, those being just different companies producing almost exactly the same steel. Reich, we say this about a lot of different knife companies, but they really do knock it out of the park. I think for Microtech to have picked anyone else would have kind of pointed the direction towards another company, but Reich was able to pull off their knife, their Socom Bravo, and they certainly for their own knives do a wonderful job. So hope you enjoyed this video. A little on the long side, but don't forget to give it a like, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button in the lower right. Take care.